Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. So today I have a review and a tutorial including swatches of the new Melt 27 palette. This palette is the sister palette to the really popular Gemini palette. Gemini was Laura's palette and 27 is Dana's palette. So I got this in the mail a couple days ago and I wanted to do a video for you guys. So if you're interested, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel down below if you haven't done so already. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss any future video uploads from me. And if you are not interested, please stop right here. It's not worth your time and effort. So let's get into the tutorial.
So I prime my lids with the Rumor 5 base from P. Louise. The first eyeshadow I'm going into is Downtown, which is this terracotta-y rose shade, and I'm stamping that on using a Luxie blending brush. Just stamping that on above my crease, and then I'm going to go on with a more, not as dense Luxie brush and blending that out, the harsh lines with no product on the brush. Then I'm gonna go in with Nip Slip, and I cleaned that same blending brush that I used to blend out the harsh lines off, and I am just lightly diffusing out the edges further using Nip Slip and that same brush. Next I'm gonna go in with Thick. It's a rosy mauve shade, and I'm packing that using a dome brush from Sonia Kashuk on my outer corners and sweeping it a little bit on the outer part of my crease. And I'm blending that out, so no harsh lines. Next I'm going to go in with Moonchild, the darker shade in the palette, and I'm just packing that on with another dome brush to deepen out my outer corner. And then I'm just going to blend out where I placed Moonchild so there's no harsh lines. Next I'm going to go in with Crime Fighter eyeshadow, and then I'm just placing that all over my lid where there's no eyeshadow on the inner and middle thirds. And then I'm going to go in with Inglot 77 gel liner and then just run that in my waterline. Then I'm just going to go in with a mix of Downtown and Thick and just run that on my lower lash line, blowing it out a bit. And then I'm going to go in with Moonchild and place it closer to my lash line so it's a little bit darker there. Then to highlight my inner corner and my brow bone, I am just using Gemini eyeshadow from the Gemini palette. So I'm just running it on my brow bone, inner corners. And then I'm just going to put on some mascara, Smashbox Superfan mascara, and then my lashes, which are the Lily lashes in the style Vegas. So this is the finished look. I put on a blue lipstick to contrast with the eyes since they are more on the mauvey warm side. And yeah, I hope you guys liked the tutorial. So let's move on to the review and swatches.
So I have my phone here with my notes so I don't miss any talking points. So the palette retails for $58 US. I purchased mine on the early access launch on June 27th. Which was Dana's birthday. That's the whole premise of this palette. The name and the shades. June 27th is her birthday, and then all the names in the palette have to do with like people in her lives, places she's been, drinks. Launches today, July 4th, along with a 24-hour sale across the whole site on Melt's site, meltcosmetics.com. The only thing that will not be on sale is the palette. So yeah, if anybody's wondering if you're gonna get the palette on sale, it's the only thing that's not gonna be on sale. Gemini is not going to be restocked either, so if anyone really wants Gemini, it will not be restocked. If anyone wants to watch my Gemini videos, I will link them in the description bar below, as well as the eyes up here. So let's get into the palette. Same packaging idea as Laura's Gemini palette. So this is the 27 palette outer packaging and the Gemini outer packaging. So pretty much Dana, people she loves, her fiance, her dogs are all on here. Practically the same thing as the Gemini palette. So looking at the ingredients on the back, the formula is different than Gemini. The ingredients are not in the same order. If anyone wants an ingredient list, I'll link both pages down below so anyone can see. But yeah, the ingredient lists are not the same, but it's weird because they perform the same on the eyes. The weights of each palette are different. 27 actually weighs more, so you're getting more product for the same price in 27 compared to Gemini. In Gemini, you get 18.8 grams, which is 0.66 ounces. In 27, you get 20.7 grams, which is 0.73 ounces. So you're getting about 0.07 more ounces in the 27 palette versus the Gemini palette. So compared to the Gemini palette, the palette sizes are the exact same dimension as the palette packaging. Both are different. You can see the two very different aesthetics, and you can see how both of these aesthetics are shown within the Melt brand. Into the palette, sorry mine's kind of dirty. I used it for this look, which you just previously seen before this review. So you have like a warmer peachy coppery red side, and then you have like a cooler brown rosy pink bronze side. Same layout as the Gemini palette, same concept ideas, like how the Gemini palette was. You have the greens on one side and you have the mustardy browns on the other. These two palettes together would be an awesome fall palette combination. These would be great for fall, and I think I'll be doing that. You still get 10 shades as you do in the Gemini palette, so you're not losing anything there. Same amount of mattes, same amount of shimmers. You have 2 shimmer metallic foiled shades and 8 mattes. So I'll include a picture of swatches that I took of the palette, as well as read to you the description from top to bottom of the swatches. So the first shade is Mood Child, and Melt describes it as a deep maroon shade. Next we have Whiskey Neat, and it's described as a barrel-aged smoky brown. Next we have Vegas Past. Vegas Past is described as a bronze foil with green and rose gold reflex. I don't see the rose gold and green reflex. Maybe if I wet it down with like Fix Plus or water, those will become more prominent. I have to try that out. Thick is described as a rosy mauve. One More Thing is described as a warm taupe. Crime Fighter is described as a dimensional copper foiled with pink and gold glitter reflex. I don't see pink and gold glitter reflex, it just looks like a copper to me. Might have to wet it, see what it does. Moxie is described as a burnt orange. Nip Slip is described as a provocative peach. Downtown is described as like a baked clay, earth and clay type of shade, and Naked Sleep is your apricot nude. You're probably wondering this question: does it look exactly like Urban Decay Naked Heat palette? I have Naked Heat, so I can show you guys what they look like compared to each other side by side on camera, as well as I did another set of comparison swatches with them both. I'll put them side to side on the screen. So they're very similar in the sense that they're warm tone palette, but when you actually swatch them out, there's maybe like 1 or 2 shades that are somewhat similar, but the shades are pretty much all different. So on the swatches, I feel like the shades that are the most similar out of all of them, I feel like He Devil and Moxie are very, very close. Moxie is more of a burnt orange shade. It leans more orange. He Devil is lighter. It's definitely a lot lighter in person. But it's within the same realm as Moxie. Fighter compared to Scorch and Dirty Talk, they are nothing alike. Crime Fighter is more orange. Scorch and Dirty Talk are more on the pink side. Scorch is more of a dustier, like pink, darker pink, and then Dirty Talk is more of a copper, a red-based copper. Compared to Melt's Bogart, it's very close to Bogart by Melt. Downtown versus Cayenne, not the same. Downtown is more rosy. It's more of a mauve. It's more of a rosy mauve, not like a true mauve. Thick is not the same as Cayenne. It's more pink. Moonchild is way lighter than Ashes and darker than Enfuego. It literally sits between Enfuego and Ashes from the Naked Heat palette. Naked Sleep is darker than Chaser and is lighter than Sauced. Nip Slip is, there's no comparison shade in the Naked Heat palette. There's no similar shade. It's more peach. Lobo and Sauced are more of warm browns. One More Thing and Chaser. One More Thing is cool toned. Chaser is that super duper light matte warm brown, and then Ounce, there's no comparison shade in the 27 palette. So even though it looks the same, it's very, very different to the point that there's more rosy mauvey shades in the 27 palette versus the Naked Heat palette, which is more warm red brown shades that is in a million palettes. They look the same, but they're not the same. I know a lot of people would have questions if there are similar shades in Melt stacks for them to be able to skip this palette. So I'm going to put up all my comparisons probably on this side of the screen so you guys can see. The first 5 shades I compared were Amelie, Gemini, Crime Fighter, Bogart, and Vegas Past. Amelie and Gemini, Amelie is a duochrome peach gold shade and it is a shimmer. Gemini is a metallic. It's pretty much like the more metallic foiled version of Amelie, but with less shift in it. Crime Fighter is more orange compared to Bogart, and then Vegas Past doesn't even compare to the rest of them. Next, I have the lighter mattes. I have Blur, Luna, Naked Sleep, Unseen, and One More Thing. Blur and Naked Sleep are nothing alike, along with Luna and Unseen and One More Thing. Blur is like a light, neutral, warm brown. Luna is more yellow. Naked Sleep has a more peach undertone. Unseen is more that like light, medium warm brown that you use as a transition shade for lighter skin tones. I feel like that would work the best. And then One More Thing is a taupe color. It's cool toned, so it doesn't compare to the other shades, which are more on the yellow / neutral warm side. Next up, we have Antique versus Nip Slip. Just these two, because compared to the other ones, I didn't have anything else within the Melt, within my Melt eyeshadows. Antique is more orange. It's more like of a light orangey peach. Nip Slip is more pink. So the next 4 we have are like the medium-ish transition shades: Last Caress, Thick, Downtown, and Polka Dot. They are very, very, very different. Last Caress is purple. It's pretty much like a mauve purple shade. And then Thick is more of a cool tone rose shade. Downtown is more on the warm side. And then Polka Dot is that like mustardy deep brown shade. The next shades we have are the oranges, so all the bright shades compared to Moxie. So the first shade I have is Scammin', which is a coral pink. And then we have Main Squeeze, which is a bright orange. It's not neon, but it's orange shade. Then we have Moxie, which is a burnt orange. Radon, which is a neon orange. And Breakup, which is a burnt umber orange. For me, Moxie kind of sits between Main Squeeze and Breakup. It's not like they had a baby, but Main Squeeze is more orange. Moxie is definitely more on that red-orange side. It's more red in it. Breakup, it's practically a dark red-brown, so it kind of falls somewhere in between Main Squeeze and Breakup. Then the last 8 shades I have are comparing Moonchild, Whiskey Neat to other shades in the Gemini palette and stacks. So the first shade from top to bottom is Lovesick, Moonchild, Enigma, Mean Streak, Whiskey Neat, Polka Dot, Assimilate, and Rot. Moonchild versus Lovesick and Enigma and Mean Streak, they are not the same. Literally, Moonchild is like if you took Enigma and you put more cool tone brown pigment in it. Not as red as Lovesick is. Streak is just straight up dark purple, so it's not even relatively the same. I just put it because it's in the same color family. And then Whiskey Neat versus Polka Dot. Polka Dot is more on that like mustardy yellow undertone. Whiskey Neat is more of like a smoky dark brown. And then Assimilate is gray. It's a lot cooler. It's more gray in there. And then Rot is just a super duper dark brown. There are similar shades in the same color family. They're not exact dupes though. So the main question you're probably thinking, do I need this palette? If you have a lot of warm brown shades and you don't think you need it, then don't purchase it. There are similar shades out there. There are other similar shades from other companies. I saw on Twitter, Rocio Seja, she actually found comparison shades in the original Jaclyn Hill palette, not the Vault collection. She found similar shades. If I do any similar shades with that palette, I will probably post swatches on my Instagram. So if you're not following me there, follow me on Instagram. Yeah, so if you have Naked Heat or any other warm palette, you do not need this palette. If you are a melt lover like I am and you want to fulfill your collection, get this palette. This is limited edition. I think I forgot to mention that earlier. This is limited edition, so once it sells out, it sells out. I really like this palette so far. I definitely have to play with it more, but I really like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to be as expansive as I could by showing you how I got this eye look and the swatches and talking about it. I hope I was pretty detailed. If I left any details out, I'll put them in the description bar as well as in my comments. Let me know what you think of this look. If you're going to get the palette, if you already have the palette, what do you think of it? I'd really like to know. Don't forget to like me on my social media pages. My Instagram and Twitter are at gbemabiola, and then my Snapchat is at I Love to Purplefy. I hope you all have a wonderful day wherever you are, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.